Ever forgotten someone's name while you're still shaking their hand? Not an hour later, not the next day, while their hand is still in yours, and inside your head, a small, very fast committee meeting is happening. Did she say Jen? Jenna? Was there an A at the end? Why did I look at her shoes when she said it? Can I just say it back without saying it? If I say, "So nice to meet you," with enough warmth, does that count? It counts, right? Here's what I want to do in the next 8 minutes. Convince you this is not a character flaw. It's a design flaw, just not yours. In the 1980s, a psychologist named Gillian Cohen ran an experiment that should probably be required reading for anyone who's ever apologized for being bad with names. She told one group of people that a man's last name was Baker. She told another group the man was a baker. He baked bread for a living. Same syllables, same sound. A week later, she asked everyone what they remembered. The second group remembered. The first group mostly did not. Here's why. When someone tells you a man is a baker, your brain lights up like a small kitchen. Flour, ovens, the smell of bread at 6 in the morning. That one word plugs into 1,000 other things you already know. It has somewhere to live. When someone tells you a man's last name is Baker, none of that happens. The word just sits there, a label with no luggage, no ovens, no flour, no morning. Just Mr. Baker, alone on a small island in your brain, waiting for the tide to take him out. Names are the only words your brain is asked to remember purely as a favor. And your brain, it turns out, is not big on favors. Which brings us to Slack. You're writing a message. You need to loop someone in. You know exactly who. You know he's on the platform team. You know he wore a denim jacket to the offsite. You know he made that one good joke about the printer. You just don't know his name. So you do what every professional in 2026 does. You open the search bar. And because you can't type his name, you type the next best thing. The product manager who wears the round glasses. The guy from Platform with the beard. The one who ran the Q3 review. You are now searching for a human being by their visual metadata. Like a stock photo, like a missing dog. Your brain remembered everything about this person, except the one thing you're now responsible for typing out loud. There's a second thing happening, and it's almost worse. In the 1970s, researchers ran a very simple study. They put people in a circle and asked them to take turns saying something out loud. Their name, a word, doesn't matter. Afterwards, they asked everyone to recall what each person had said. People remembered almost everyone, except one person. Reliably, consistently, embarrassingly, they could not remember what the person right before them had said. Psychologists call this the next in line effect. The reason is unromantic. In the seconds before it's your turn, your brain isn't listening. Your brain is rehearsing. Hi, Wait, do I say my title? Do I mention which team? Should I make a joke? Was that joke good? Should I not make a joke? The person right before you is talking into a brain that has temporarily left the room. Now think about every meeting that begins with, "Let's go around and introduce ourselves." Every networking event, every onboarding circle, every off-site icebreaker. These are not meetings. These are next-in-line effect harvesting machines. You weren't being rude. You were being directed. And here's where it gets a little cruel. Working memory, the mental whiteboard you're using right now to hold this sentence, is small, embarrassingly small. And it doesn't get bigger when the stakes go up. It gets fuller. So when you meet someone and you really want to make a good impression, when you're thinking, is my handshake too soft? Did I make eye contact long enough? His watch looks expensive. Is he senior? Am I being interesting? Was that an awkward pause? The name? The name is the first thing off the whiteboard. It was already barely hanging on. Which means the people in your office who are famously good with names, they're often not the warmest people. They're not the most attentive. They're just the most relaxed. They had room on the whiteboard because they weren't using it to audit themselves. Being good with names in the workplace is a skill we keep mistaking for kindness. It's mostly just calm. Okay, so if you've decided you do want to do something about this, not out of guilt, just out of curiosity, there are 2 things that actually work. Not life hacks, just things that work. The first one is almost too obvious. Say the name back, out loud. Nice to meet you, Priya. That's it. The reason it works isn't social, it's mechanical. The act of producing the word forces your brain to retrieve it once, immediately, while it's still warm. You're putting one bridge onto the island before the tide takes Mr. Baker out to sea. The second one is more interesting. When you hear the name, give it something to hold on to. Anything. Priya is wearing orange earrings. Mark has a very loud laugh. Dan is the third Dan you've met this month. It doesn't have to be clever. It doesn't have to be a memory palace. It just has to be a hook. Any hook that connects this lonely little label to something else in your head. That's it. Two things. Repeat it and hook it. So next time you're standing there, hand still in someone's hand, and the name has already slipped through some crack in your brain, try not to take it personally. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's holding on to the project, the denim jacket, the joke about the printer. It just couldn't be bothered to file the label. And honestly, neither could theirs.